This road in Wrightstown Township, Bucks County, is dangerous and getting more dangerous every day. This is Worthington Mill Road, and trucks from 4 nearby quarries use the road to get to I-95. People who live here say the trucks could be diverted to the Newtown bypass, but weight restrictions on 2 bridges there won't allow the truck traffic.
It's a serious problem, safety being the #1 problem.
Residents had actually been complaining about truck traffic, I'd say, for over 10 years.
DVRPC showed Marcy and Sue how to get their concerns heard by the decision makers in Harrisburg.
We firmly believe that we were right. With a voice through the DVRPC, we have been successful.
The DVRPC had the clout that we needed for people in Harrisburg, for instance, to believe that we were credible.
Helping people have a voice in the decision-making process is only a small part of what DVRPC does. Change. It happens all around us. More cars, new roads, new houses, new stores. We see it every day. Sometimes it's for the better, and sometimes it can create problems for communities. Problems that seem to change the very fabric of our lives. Which way a new road goes can determine who benefits and who doesn't. It can have an impact on jobs, the quality of air we breathe, whether our communities grow or not, and certainly on the future. We all want a good life for our children, and that life is directly tied to how we plan for the future. Who decides how our region and communities will grow? The decision-making process can be a complex one, but there is an agency whose purpose is to make sure everyone is heard, no matter how many people, organizations, businesses, state or local governments are involved. The Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission, or DVRPC, creating tomorrow, today. DVRPC works across state, county, and local lines, advising on such regional issues as transportation, economic development, the environment, and land use. DVRPC uses its expertise to plan and coordinate projects such as conducting studies of heavy and congested traffic corridors to identify needed transportation improvements, planning for new and upgraded highway, rail, aviation, and transit facilities to ensure the efficient movement of people and goods, identifying measures to keep suburban sprawl in check and to protect environmental resources, working as a regional resource with other organizations and government officials to improve our quality of life. DVRPC's activities are directed by an 18-member board, which establishes regional policy, defines committee duties, and adopts the annual work program. The Delaware Valley is a growing array of counties, cities, boroughs, and townships. 9 counties make up the Delaware Valley: Bucks, Chester, Delaware, Montgomery, and Philadelphia in Pennsylvania, and in New Jersey, Burlington, Camden, Gloucester, and Mercer. With a population of 5.4 million, we are the 6th largest regional area in the nation. As our population increases, so does the number of drivers and vehicles. It's obvious every time we drive. And the number of cars and trucks for personal use is expected to increase to 3.8 million by 2020. Our transit systems have 300 miles of rail lines and 200 bus and trolley routes. We have a relatively high population density in our urban core, and this enables us to take advantage of the benefits of more transit options. With regional employment expected to grow by 19% by 2025, the Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission is focused on ensuring that the region's highways and transit network can meet the challenge.
Motorists are not often looking for bicyclists, so they're not expecting them, so oftentimes motorists are surprised when they come across a bicyclist. Motorists underestimate how fast cyclists are going, so oftentimes they'll either cut them off or they'll speed up and approach them from behind, causing near collisions.
We had some accidents involving bicycles and vehicles. We found that many of the accidents that occurred, it was just a lack of knowledge of the rules of the road
The DVRPC brought together a number of organizations that have common interests in making the City of Philadelphia and University City safer for cyclists. The Bicycle Coalition was able to join with DVRPC to have conversations with these organizations all at one time.
We started a major educational campaign supported by the DVRPC with pamphlets and flyers. We would stop people on the highway on bicycles, warn them, give them the rules of the road, their obligations on the road. We'd also do the same with motorists. When we did that, we found that people were more receptive and willing to cooperate when it came time to start issuing tickets. We have had a noticeable reduction in accidents with bicycles and motor vehicles within the areas that we enforce it.
Without the presence of the DVRPC pushing for a dialogue between motorists and cyclists, and specifically the educational program of the Share the Road campaign, it probably would not have happened.
I've worked with many organizations in the past to do this facilitation, and the DVRPC has absolutely been the best, and this project really has been a positive influence to University City.
Balancing transportation interests with land use and the environment in any project is never easy. Over the years, DVRPC has developed a process for consensus building that takes into account the different interests and needs of the participants in any given project, and then moves the project forward. Bringing together all the decision makers is not an easy task, but it's the only way to develop a successful plan for the future. DVRPC formed the Central Jersey Transportation Forum, so local officials, state officials, and other agencies and groups could hear the concerns of everyone affected by future planning.
Working with groups like this early on, it helps us avoid getting to the end of a project and going back and having to look at something.
And it's brought a much more cohesive response in terms of everybody recognizing that we're running into transportation problems in Central Jersey that are going to inhibit the future development of our towns.
I don't always agree with some of the design for roads that perhaps some of my neighboring communities might want, but I understand why they're advocating for that, and together we could probably sit down and design something that would have less impact on both communities.
How the forum deals with transportation and land use issues will determine the future quality of life in New Jersey.
The best way to conserve land here in New Jersey is to aggressively decide where the growth should occur, which at the same time means you're deciding aggressively where it should not. And the process of deciding that is planning.
Let's look at the future of Central New Jersey. More people living here, more people working here. Hopefully they live in tight towns, and hopefully they will have left enough of the farms and the woods so that it continues to be a very attractive place to live.
It's jammed from the Turnpike to Highland Avenue.
There's an accident off to the Shoulder Boulevard to Belmont.
Lots of volume there northbound.
From the Schuylkill East where it jams broad.
Where are we going as a region? What will this area be like in 5, 10, even 25 years? Will it be so congested that we won't be able to get where we want to go? Will there be open areas, or will we build on every acre available? These and other important issues that affect our lives are part of DVRPC's Horizons the Year 2025 plan, and will carry forward as the Commission begins planning for 2030. Mandated by federal laws, the goal of the plan is to create a common strategy and to foster improved coordination to support a strong regional economy. In order to accomplish these goals, the plan has done extensive research into what is happening now in our region, what will happen in the future, and how we can plan to meet the challenges that are coming. Through town meetings and workshops for citizens and local elected officials, surveys of business executives and agency representatives, the Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission has provided opportunities for input and review of the plan. Planning is the only way we can survive in our changing global economy. Local governments and regions must pull together to create a competitive climate for new job growth and retention in the face of national and international competition. In the plans for 2025 and 2030, it is important that we provide opportunities for all Delaware Valley citizens. Access to jobs, education, affordable housing, and transportation services should not be restricted on the basis of race, income, class, or lifestyle. Inequalities that now exist due to past practices must be corrected, and barriers to opportunity for all residents of the region removed. All of us are affected daily by the planning that is going on today. The air we breathe, the roads that bring us the goods we buy, our mobility, the sense of place we have for where we live, the education of our children are all being affected by future planning. Is your voice being heard? It can be through monthly meetings with the Regional Citizens Committee. DVRPC makes available to the public the same information that is given to representatives of the professional planning and engineering agencies involved in DVRPC's activities. We need your input and comments. Take part in the public policy decision-making process. Have your voice heard. It's your future. It's your children's future. You have a voice, use it. Help us create tomorrow, today.